Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another fantastic episode of the Weekend Superheroes Podcast. Today is August 27th. I'm Sean. Sitting with me today is Darius and Pat, filling in for Steve. We have Griff. Gentlemen, how are you tonight?
Doing great.
Oh, my God.
That doesn't sound very convincing.
The weird skipped enthusiasm was too much for me, actually.
I've been better, Sean.
If this is your first podcast with us, welcome to the show. But Steve, oh, no. Well,
yes, I now own an acre on the moon.
For the first time since the 9/11 podcast, we have to move on. Darius, what happened on the last episode?
We had the owner of the moon and CEO of the Lunar Embassy, Christopher Lamar. He showed us how to purchase lunar real estate, and we even got a little land for the Weekend Super Herpes. I'm sorry.
Okay.
The Weekend Superheroes.
Oh, right. He was the herpes. The O and the P are so close together on the keyboard. But we do own an acre on the moon, one way or the other. We have the deed and everything else. So, if you're ever in the neighborhood, come and visit us. But today, I want you to strap on the feed bag as we talk about our main topic. Luckily, this is a subject in which everyone at this table has at least some experience. Though we can't...
Celibacy?
though we can't call ourselves professional quite yet. Today, I want to talk about competitive eating. These are the competitions in which two or more contestants consume ridiculous amounts of food in a short period of time to gain themselves a little fame, a little fortune, and a lot of heartburn. Now, I'd love to talk about the history of this topic, but throughout the majority of America's past, food wasn't something that could just go to waste. As a result, most major feasts were events typically relegated to like royalty and the super rich at the time. With that in mind, there weren't any written records of eating contests prior to the 15th century. But that's not to say history didn't record any heavy lifters in the eating game from back in the day.
All right, so back in the 17th century in England, there was a man named Nicholas Wood, a.k.a. the Great Eater of Kent. So this guy was a prodigious eater. So there's stories of him eating meals that included a leg of lamb, 60 eggs, 3 pies, and a giant black pudding. There's also stories of him eating in one meal 7 dozen rabbits. I mean, I know a rabbit's not big, but 7 dozen.
That's a lot of rabbits.
That's a lot of rabbits. So he actually only failed twice. One time he ate so much he literally passed out into a food coma.
Been there, done that. I've done that before.
Right, but unfortunately for him, it was sponsored by some rich duke or earl or some such thing, and they put him in the stockade the next day for failing. His second famous defeat
Not
was...
the best facilities.
Yeah. So someone said they could defeat him with a meal that cost only 2 shillings. So what they did is they bought a dozen loaves of bread and soaked them in really strong ale. And as he ate that concoction, he got so full and drunk that he literally passed out for like a day and a half.
Darius, you have experience in this, don't you? Just give me some of that black pudding. I'll be fucking done.
But enough about your high school nicknames. Around the middle of the 19th century, things started to change. The Industrial Revolution brought about inventions like refrigerations, canning, and better food storage. Those inventions, along with better farming methods, food became a little more plentiful. Now, since electricity was still rare, many local fairs throughout the U.S. began to feature eating contests as a way to sort of entertain people. Most of these contests focus on things like crops like corn or watermelon or apples. Eventually, pies.
A pie eating contest from Stand By Me.
There we go. So the pies began to reign supreme as the competitive eating food of choice. Mainly using just your face, right? Then, in 1916, a Coney Island hot dog stand named Nathan's Famous, you guys may have heard of it, began hosting its own hot dog eating contest to boost publicity. Now, Nathan's Famous would, of course, become a major fast food chain, and its hot dog eating contest would go on for decades. 2 brothers, George and Richard Shea, took over Nathan's publicity in the mid-1990s and increased the audience from hundreds to thousands.
We are off in the 103rd iteration of the Nathan's Famous hot dog eating contest. Joey Chestnut, the man to beat.
That is
Said
disgusting.
he used to be like Verlander, right? He'd come out throwing 100 in the first, didn't have any gas in the tank late. Now he's
These brothers would then form the International Federation of Competitive Eating, later renamed Major League Eating, or the MLE, to oversee these events. They now host 80 to 100 competitions a year, featuring everything from deep-fried asparagus to tiramisu. and their top events are broadcast live on ESPN. Now, when it comes to Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest, there's only one name that comes to mind, gentlemen.
Joey Chestnut.
This is absolutely brilliant.
Look on his works, ye mighty, and despair. He has surpassed the kings of Egypt. There is nothing in this earth that is not now a monument to this man. With 71 hot dogs and buns.
Jesus.
12 victories in Coney Island. The champion of the world, Joey Chestnut!
I think the guy oversold him just a little bit there.
Yeah, he did a lot better than I did.
Something about the kings of Egypt.
They didn't have hot dogs then.
But we are talking about Joey Chestnut. So since 2007, he's only lost 1 year, earning him 12 wins. His most impressive being 74 hot dogs in 10 minutes. That was in 2018. But it's not just hot dogs he holds a record for. He downed 32 and a half grilled cheese sandwiches in 10 minutes, 241 chicken wings in 30 minutes, and a 72-ounce ribeye steak, salad, baked potato, shrimp cocktail, and, of course, a dinner roll in just 8 minutes and 52 seconds. God bless America.
And I think the salad took 8 minutes. The rest only took 52 seconds.
But let's not forget that competitive eating is not just an American thing. Before anyone even knew who Joey Chestnut was, Japan's own Takeru Kobayashi won the hot dog eating contest 6 years in a row before even losing to Chestnut. Does anyone know what even happened to Kobayashi?
He ate too many hot dogs and exploded.
All right, so in 2009, Chestnut defeats Kobayashi at the Nathan's Championship, all right? Okay. But then in June 2010, Kobayashi declares his free agency, announcing that he will not sign with Major League Eating
he's going
contract.
Going for the big bucks and free agency.
Okay,
right?
that's fine.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Been talking to AB for a while. All right. And in July 2010, Chestnut wins again at Coney Island as Kobayashi is arrested for trespassing.
Right, so apparently he literally jumped the stage and they had to tear him off.
Here we go. November 2010, Kobe fails in an attempt to set the world record for speed eating a 12-inch pizza.
Then, in
2011,
after realizing that women were starting to creep up in the ranks, Nathan gave the ladies their own category. Since 2014, Mickey, the Black Widow pseudo, hasn't given up her title in 6 years running. In 2012, she even beat 10 out of 15 male eaters.
And for you chauvinistic pigs out there who think there isn't a girl alive who could out-eat you, prepare to be bitch-slapped.
Because our guest tonight is a professional competitive eater from across the pond. She currently holds 3 Guinness World Records in the speed eating category. After her victory over Adam Moran in the 2018 World Burger Eating Competition, she was ranked the UK's #1 competitive eater. Please welcome YouTube sensation, the talented, the lovely, the hungry, Leah Shutkever. Leah, how are you?
Hello, I'm very good. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you so much for coming. I know it's late, so let's just jump right in.
Let's jump in.
When was the first moment you realized you could be a contender in competitive eating?
I have a very interesting story because I always knew that I was greedy. I always knew it. When I was a kid, I could eat a lot of food. Always could eat a lot of food. And I looked like it. I looked like a hungry little child. That was me. And for years, I was dieting and all this stuff, and I was doing the typical girl thing where I would be very conscious of how I looked and always wanted to be thin. And when I was dieting for a bikini show, believe it or not, in 2013, my brother failed a local restaurant food challenge about 10 times, 10 weeks in a row. And as a normal, red-blooded sister, I heckled him a lot for it. I just let him know about himself, that he's letting the family down and that he needs to step up his game.
Right, just being a good sister.
And I was being a good sister. I was being encouraging. I was doing what our parents would be proud for me to do. And he then called me out and said, you know what? You can do it. Do your little bikini show, and then you come and show me how to eat. And basically, I did that. I went to this restaurant. They gave me the challenge. I did it very leisurely. I've never done a challenge before. It wasn't, looking back now, it wasn't a huge challenge, but I did it in about 6 minutes, and the staff
Well, I'm sorry.
were like,
I got to know, what did you eat in 6 minutes?
it was a stack of waffles. So you had 6 stacked waffles, the big Belgian ones, and then in between you had like a big chunk of brownie and apparently a whole jar of peanut butter and a whole jar of Nutella.
Peanut butter would slow me down.
Because it was after 16 weeks of dieting, it was the best thing I've ever eaten in my entire life.
Oh, so you were dieting for the bikini competition, and then this came out. Wow.
Yeah.
So
Wait, you can diet for 16 weeks?
yeah, so for bodybuilding prep, you tend to spread your diet over like 16 to 24 and even more weeks, so that it's not so difficult to sort of stay on track. You don't lose too much weight, and you try and maintain as much muscle mass and along the way.
I have that problem a lot. I lose too much weight.
I'm so glad you're doing audio. We actually can't even fit in the video right now. This is amazing. Okay, so you did it in 6 minutes. So what'd your brother have to say?
He never. I don't think he ever asked me to do anything again. He never asked. He never challenged me to do anything from then. I can't understand why.
Right.
He doesn't even send Christmas cards anymore. Is there anything about your biology that gives you a competitive edge over the other competitors?
Oh, good question. I'm going to say that we all have our things. Like, we all have our things that we're good at, and I feel like there are some competitors that are good at speed eating and some that are good at capacity. And I'm a fast eater, right? And I think it's because it's several factors. Number one being I probably don't fear dying because
All right, good.
I genuinely, like, it doesn't cross my mind when I'm doing a challenge that there is a possibility that swallowing things whole, like, is not a good thing to do. But a human body would normally say, like, don't do that, you might die. But my body's like, no, shit, do it.
I have that feeling every lunch.
Oh, so your body's like my friend. It's like, oh, no, you'll be fine. Actually, do more.
But how about during these competitions? Like, don't you gag with so much food you're putting into your face? Is there no problem with that?
So, well, you'll see this in some competitive eaters. I mean, we all have our moments, but I think for the most part, we don't really have a gag reflex, not like the average person would. And also, there's a lot of getting over of certain senses like taste and smells, because things that you don't particularly like or a consistent smell can make you feel really nauseous. So if you can block out those senses as well, it obviously puts you way ahead of everyone else.
That is amazing. So Griffel's an altar boy for like 13 years. He has no gag reflex either.
Oh, geez.
Wow.
My gosh, you know? I'm actually just sitting here filling in for someone. This is what I get. All right, so I do have a question for you. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, you ate 3 pickled eggs in 7.8 seconds and a Terry's chocolate orange in 65 seconds. But the mind-blowing one was the burrito that you ate in 44.2 seconds, because you didn't do it on your first try, did you? Can you tell us about that?
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, you're not alone in saying that. Everybody emphasizes this burrito challenge as if it was like this groundbreaking moment. But for me, I thought the eggs were more impressive. But okay, the burritos, I went in and we were filming 2 challenges in the one day, and I was doing the burrito first. And in honesty, I didn't practice it. I didn't think it through properly. I just thought a 600-gram burrito, that's like, it's not massive. It's a large burrito, but I just didn't think that it was going to be that difficult. So it came out. I had a big crowd in front of me. We're filming for TV. I thought, yep, I've got this. The pressure's on. You know, I normally sort of perform when camera goes on, and I know what I've got to do. And I failed the first time. And I remember looking at everyone, and it was like, everyone was just silent looking at me. And I was like, what? What's happened? I had no idea what the time was. There was no reaction, there was no response. I thought that either completely speechless, which would be great, or I failed, which isn't normal for me. Like I don't often fail at food challenges, so it was very weird. And yeah, I failed, and I just thought, I can't let all of these people down. I can't let myself down. It's a once in a lifetime, and I know I can do it. It's like I just had to shave off that 10 seconds, and I'm like under the mark. I was 54 seconds on my first attempt and 44 on my second attempt. So it was really tight, but
I think you passed up something big there. You did it again.
Yeah.
So like back to back.
But I took
Same
it as
day?
the first one was practice.
Same
And when
10
you
minutes.
practice-
I laugh when my wife asks me to do it again.
She doesn't ask you to do it a first time. Griff.
There was how long in between? I mean, you ate a whole burrito, then you're like, you know what? I want to do it again.
Oh no, literally, it was. As soon as I said let's do it again, the woman was making it, and it was out of the kitchen, and everyone was just like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And yeah, well, obviously.
Well,
yes.
you see, the key is the first one just kind of stretches out the esophagus, and the
Oh,
second
I
one
see.
goes down easier.
Well, she said it was practice. Maybe that was the whole point. That was I saw the video. It was unbelievable. And
Thank
well done,
you.
by the way. That makes 3 Guinness World Records for you. I keep saying Guinness Book of World Records, but now it's online, so it's Guinness World Records. It's absolutely out of control. Darius, you had a question?
So you told us about this burrito, but I got to know, name a competition you regret doing, and would you never do it again?
I don't regret doing anything that I've done in terms of competitive eating. It's been an absolute whirlwind, but it's so once in a lifetime. It's absolutely insane, that world, and I'm really proud to be part of it because it's so different, it's so niche, and you meet some incredible people. I would say that there have been challenges that I have that I've really struggled with. One was the qualifier for the Battle of the Big Eaters World Championship, and that was eating Scotch eggs.
Oh,
If you know
no.
Scotch.
You know what?
Yeah, all right. They are this greasy pile of
I was like,
misery.
I can
Yeah.
eat like one, and it takes me an hour.
Yeah.
It's delicious, but not
don't-
something I could eat quickly.
They don't go well with the IPA.
So these were, we were midwinter on the Thames on the top deck of a boat outside, filming for Japanese TV. We had half an hour on the clock. We had as many Scotch eggs as we could eat in that time. And it's just go time. 15 people, just eat. And they'll just keep bringing one out. And I ate 15 and I was ahead of everyone. And I had 5 minutes left on the clock. And I just, 15. And I just sat there, just coasted for the last 5 minutes. I couldn't eat anymore. There was just absolutely no way.
I would have jumped into the Thames at like 5.
When's the last time you had a Scotch egg after that?
Oh no, never again in my life.
That's the one.
All
I
right.
say to a lot of people, my most dreaded food is anything that was popular in the Victorian era. I can't.
All right, so we're going to move on to I'm going to call it a generic question, but you can see me, so I don't know if you noticed, I'm a little, what do they call, curvy? I
Husky.
guess hot fat is
Plus
another word.
size.
Yeah,
But
right.
the smallest one out of all of us.
But if you're listening and you don't know Leah is built like a brick shithouse, which goes against all of like the stereotypes of someone who typically eats a lot.
Right. People that eat a lot look like us.
Right,
not her.
that's what everyone thinks, right? Now it's obviously you hit the gym pretty religiously, but what is your diet like if you want to stay fit and still remain involved in these eating competitions?
It's so interesting when I hear these types of questions because it's always geared towards you don't look like a competitive eater. I would say that the new wave of competitive eaters, we're all kind of into the same things. We all are bodybuilders. We all stay kind of fit year round. And we don't eat a lot, but we eat competitively. And I think it's very different because our day-to-days are very strict. Myself, I train about between 4 and 6 times a week. I don't find that a chore. That's not something that I've incorporated because of competitive eating. It's something that I've always done. I've always been very sporty and all of that. That was always my life before. I lead a very healthy lifestyle, which is all very boring. And my diet is nothing short of absolutely like mind-numbingly boring. I am the typical chicken, rice, broccoli type of girl. It's nothing fun or sexy or exotic, and I don't mind that. That's okay with me. I use food for fuel during the week, and at the weekend I would go out, have a cheat meal or do a challenge, and it would refill me and refuel me, and then I'd get back into another training week and back at work with my morale high. And it was just how it always was. So now, if I know I've got a challenge coming up, I don't like to think of it in this way, but I kind of diet down into it. So I kind of taper my calories down, normally to sort of allow myself appetite so that I feel hungry to go into a challenge, and also saving some calories. And then I'll do this big challenge, and then I will just act on what my body's telling me. If it's saying I am full, do not eat, I will have a day when I don't really eat a lot, or I'll just stick to very, very easily digestible foods, and then I'll slowly get myself back to what I consider 100% for me.
All right, so let's be honest here for a second. The internet is filled with some of the most vile human scumbags on earth, myself included.
Terrible people.
What are some of the most disgusting or disturbing requests you've gotten from someone online?
Ding, 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 ding.
And it's fine. This is not a family podcast. You can share anything.
No, let's share it.
Yeah, it's very unrequited, isn't it? But I think that the strangest things that I get asked for is pictures of my feet. People ask to see my stomach after I do a challenge. It used to be a thing that I did just out, like, it was really just banter. Like, I just was like, it's hilarious that all of this food, like, I can eat it all. And I don't look fit after I eat a big meal, you know? Like, I don't look like I've ever seen an ab in my life.
Welcome to my life, Leah.
I'm going to start crying.
Became very weird about it. And after that, it was like, okay, well, if that's weird, I didn't see it as being weird, but if that's something that is going to bring up these strange men, then I'm going to stop doing it. And so now I do get requests, like private requests for like to see like maybe to film like a challenge for on a private basis. And to me, that's strange, but hey,
Yeah.
I'm not about to judge anybody. It's just not my bag.
Yeah, you don't have to judge them, but you don't have to do it either.
Yeah.
And if you want to stop those, block Pat at weekendsuperheroes.com. You'll never get another one.
That's what incognito mode's for.
Honestly, in recent times, I've been extremely lucky in the fact that I think with the eating community, I've kind of earned a lot of respect, and people do tend to respect me and don't cross that line. And yeah, they know that I'm savage if they do cross the line.
Well, you're also really fit, so you can probably kick the shit out of most of them.
I wouldn't even challenge you to a thumb wrestling competition. You would just kick my ass at everything. No, absolutely not. No way.
So I've got a question here. Competition rules state that you need to keep the food down or you're disqualified. After the results are in, have you ever just thrown up and chundered like a snowblower?
Good question.
Good question. Yes, I have. Yeah! I have been in an absolute state after a contest. I was up against Japan's #1, and I ate to oblivion. And I remember, because my mind overtakes my sense and my sanity.
What did you eat? I don't want to interrupt. What did you eat that made you so full?
We were eating chicken skewers, and they were like Mediterranean chicken skewers. And let's say each skewer had like 4 or 5 chunks of chicken on it with vegetables in between. I ate 29 of those.
Oh, jeez. Like 29 skewers, not 29 pieces of chicken, 29 actual skewers.
No, 29 skewers. And not only that, some of the pieces of chicken were raw, and I had to pick them out and have them placed. I think
Okay, now I'm going to throw up after the results are
Oh
in.
man.
Well, I
that
can
was-
see cooking that
physiological
many. They couldn't
response.
cook them well.
No.
Yeah, your physiological response there is exactly how my mind is going. And I was thinking, I could die. I could die. Oh, maybe that's
Salmonella?
where it started. Maybe that's where it started and ended. My fear of dying. Maybe that's where it
Serious.
All right, so what's next for you? Do we get to see you in a series called Woman vs. Food?
Oh, please.
It would be great, wouldn't it? It would really be great. I'm waiting. I've had a lot of production companies and TV companies throw this about, and it seems to be like on. It's right up there. Yeah, I'm rallying for it. I'm 100% on board, and I feel like it has such a huge market, even for like weird foods and big eats and all of that. And imagine the competitive spirit. Everyone sees this girl going to a restaurant, eat this food. They're like, I can do that. Start this huge competition in the UK. It'd be amazing. It'd be absolutely amazing. So I would like for it to happen. I don't know whether I have the power to create it myself, but I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing and hopefully just fly the flag for now and see whether we can make this happen, because it needs to happen.
Yeah, that'll be
Sorry,
awesome.
Definitely
Yeah.
needs to
Let us know
happen.
who we have to call.
Yeah, come on. We'll make some calls. We'll make this happen.
This would be amazing. It
Sean,
would
do you
be.
know anyone at ITV?
Come to Pittsburgh. We eat like crazy here. We literally
Yeah.
We put
French fries on a sandwich. It's out of control.
And salads.
And, yeah, Pittsburgh salad.
salads, of course. Leah,
Yes.
if you have a little bit of time right now, I would like to have the very first weekend superhero hot dog eating competition. Now, the last episode we had, we bought an acre of the moon, but we bought it for the four of us. Now, we had the CEO of the Lunar Embassy, and he only gave us 1 acre. So my question is, we can't live on an acre like that. What are we going to do? Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to have this hot dog eating competition to see who gets the full acre on the moon.
Whoever wins is going to need another acre just to fit themselves.
You'll be good. You'll be fine. Just
Okay.
make sure that one of you's win. No quitting.
All right, let's just, no quitting, absolutely no quitting. So here's the deal.
I just had dinner before we came
Yeah,
here,
so
too. Just to let
do
you
the
know.
rules say you can puke before the competition starts?
Or you,
I would probably have some kind of condiment, yeah.
I need ketchup.
Like
I need some sort. It'll be like a lubricant. And
I'm married. I don't have to use condiments anymore.
oh, there you go.
You're probably going to need some kind of like a drink, any water.
A beer?
yeah.
Not recommended. Like
Yeah, something
I
carbonated
personally
and
would
filling,
go for
perfect.
A still drink if you've
I'll
got
take
one.
another beer, please.
I say we just ask her one sort of final question of advice to move on. I'm going to start. Okay, Leah, when you do this, do you do picnic rules or do you actually dunk your bread or the bun into water before you eat it?
I am notoriously tidy eater, so I do picnic rules every single time. I will eat it as it comes. I try not to take things apart.
All right, picnic rules, guys. Picnic rules. Leave them on the bun. Pat?
No, nothing she can tell me is going to make me good at this.
Okay, I have one.
Griff, any question?
Ketchup
Shoot.
or mustard?
Both.
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 Honestly,
All right.
no, I would
Wait, you
say no
use a
mustard. It's
condiment
too
when you do this?
spicy.
She said that. What?
Yeah, you can do, yeah.
Oh, you're soaking yours on.
It's not a bad idea because it will lube it a little.
I'd rather dip mine.
That's it. Put it in abundance.
Leah, you need to know you're going to be the only one talking, so coach us through it. Make sure we're doing this
Okay.
right. So just count down from 5. Do you, any other advice before we roll?
We couldn't have did chicken fingers.
My biggest advice is to clear your mouth before you take another bite, ideally. A lot of people tend to shove a lot of food in their mouth and it's very difficult to
Yes.
swallow. So, bite fast, smaller bites, swallow another one, and just keep going. Breathe through your nose. Don't do anything crazy.
I wish there were Scotch eggs.
I'm nervous.
Oh, no.
All right, okay. Count down to 5. We're going to go
Right.
and coach us through. Talk. Feel free to talk because you're the only one talking.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Good. Really, really good start. Firm start. Smaller bite. Straight in the mouth. Good one. Good work. Okay. Chew and swallow. Focus on chewing and swallowing. Block out any flavors if you can. Obviously, drink, use your drink to get the food down. Obviously, that helps a lot. If you can use the drink to just get the food down without tasting the food, obviously that helps. Be a little bit more enthusiastic, maybe bounce around a little bit, helps the food digest.
How long will this take you?
Each one probably about 20 seconds to 30 seconds. Don't be disheartened by that though. Yes, first one down. Good work. You're not taking this seriously. That's it, there we go. You've got something standing up now. This is also a very, very good sign that you're in the zone. You stand up to let the food go down. Come on, keep moving. You need to take a smaller bite, chew, and swallow. You need to just swallow the food. Sometimes just block everything out in your mind and just push the food down. Because you won't like the taste and it won't be the best thing in the world. That's it. Good bite. Do really well. Do really, really well. If you hold the hot dog in one hand, yes, 3 of them. Yes, you're. Oh, is that your third? Oh, no way! I thought you were the slowest. Amazing. Good work. It's the last bite, 2 bites. Good work. Okay, we're on the last one there. I think one of you has 1 bite, one of you has 1 hot dog. Sabotage. Amazing.
Should I be able to feel my left arm right now?
No chipmunking. Get that down and come in.
Chipmunking.
Oh, I think we have a winner. Let's get an open mouth.
This guy right here won.
Mouth.
Open your mouth. Open your mouth.
Yeah. I thought that.
There's no way I could do like a ton of those though. Like I don't know how people do that.
That was out of control.
You guys all have a full one left, except
No.
for Sean has 1 bite
That's a
at
big
his.
He didn't eat before
And
this.
he's still chewing it.
Listen, I'm sweaty, I'm short of breath, and I can't feel my left arm. Is that okay?
It's a competition. You knew I was going to win it, boys. All right.
This is what it boils down to in competitions, even if it's just a local restaurant challenge, you always get that one person who, whatever happens, I'm winning this. I don't care how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You think it's always going to be him?
No, not necessarily. I mean,
Hey, with this group of losers, yes.
okay, yes.
All right.
Yes.
That was awesome, Leah. Thank you so much. Hey, do you have 5 more minutes? We play a game at the end of every episode called Fact or Fuck. Do you win?
Okay, yes, do it.
Here we go. I'm keeping that.
Fact or fuck?
Okay, shoot.
Okay. We're going to start with Pat. Pat. There is a 13th century Norse myth about an eating contest between the god Loki and his servant, where the servant beat Loki because he ate the plate.
I'm trying to remember which Avengers movie this was.
Stop that.
I'm going to go with fact.
Fact. Leah.
I'm going to say that it's not fact.
That is a fact.
Nailed it. Thanks, MCU.
Awesome.
Griff. Joey Chestnut's real name is Joseph Christian Gilmore.
Fact.
Fact. Leah.
Fact.
That is fucked.
Oh, it was so confident. You thought about it too.
Griff, I thought you had his
I just
poster.
roped you right in there.
Griff, I thought you had his poster over your
So
bed.
quick with the answer.
Darius. Scientists have revealed that the fastest eater among mammals is the star-faced mole.
Fact.
Fact. Leah.
Oh, God. I'm going to go fuck.
That is fact. Leah.
I'm bad at this.
Isn't it the
I
star
apologize
nose
to everybody
mole?
listening.
No, they're both star-nosed and star-faced. 3 more to let you go, Pat.
I'm having a real problem digesting these hot dogs. I'm just putting that on the record.
And there's always that one dick at like every party that tells you what's in a hot dog, and then you can't eat it anymore.
He's eating another one. Hold on.
Camp in the room.
Pat.
Watch out, Joey.
There he comes. You want to eat combos now? Let's go.
Pat, in 2008, the Nintendo Wii created the first video game based on competitive eating called Major League Eating, the game.
Oh, man, we had the Wii. I don't think we ever played that game, though. But it's Nintendo. And Leah mentioned Japanese competitive eating.
Can you land your plane here?
Fact.
Fact. Leah,
Saying fuck.
that is a fact.
Oh.
And I know what game you're getting for Christmas, Sean.
2 more. Pat. Griff. The heaviest man in history.
Great, I got this question.
No, that's Pat. I see how you got confused.
The heaviest man in history was named Gary Middleton, was born premature in 1938 and died 304 kilograms, also known as 672 pounds.
Heaviest man in history?
Yep.
No, that's fucked.
Fucked. Leah?
God. You know, I may as well stay on my losing streak and go that is a fact.
That's fucked.
It's too light. It was too light.
I have this season of My 600-Pound Life DVR, so I know that was fucked.
You might have to add a few after these hot dogs.
Oh, no, I'll be gone here shortly. Don't worry.
Don't fear death. If there's one thing we learned from Leah, don't fear death.
Oh,
Not a
don't
good
fear
time
it.
to
It's
mention.
inevitable.
Not a good time to mention I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow.
You can only die once, right?
Last one, I'll let you go. I promised. I know it's late. There he is. In 1919, a New York Yankees player, Bing Bodie, showed off his eating skills when he went head-to-head in a spaghetti eating contest with an ostrich.
Fuck.
Fuck. Leah.
Going with fuck.
has
That
to be
is
a fact.
fact.
has to be.
100% fact.
Sean's not creative
Yeah,
enough
you
to come
think
up
Sean
with that.
made that up?
Guys,
Thank you.
that is our show. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. It has been an absolute blast. Leah, you were absolutely amazing. Leah, tell everyone where you can find you.
My name is Leah Shutkever. I am Shutkever Official all over Instagram and Facebook. I have pages, etc. My YouTube is Leah Shutkever. If you put in Leah Shut, I'm the only one in the world, so you'll find me.
And check her out on Woman vs. Food coming up in 2025.
Yeah.
Woo!
Stay tuned.
If you like this episode and you want to hear more like it, find us at weekendsuperheroes.com or anywhere you get your podcast. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Pat, would you like to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Griff.
I'll have another hot dog, please.
And Darius.
I feel defeated.
And always remember to podcast responsibly.